Debt crisis sparking concerns about global growth and weighing on commodity prices this week. Cleveland-Cliffs among the stocks getting hit, with shares down by around 9% so far this week. But despite the recent slump, shares are still up more than 200% over the last year. Joining us in a Closing Bell exclusive, Cleveland-Cliffs Chairman and CEO L.Goncalves. Lorenzo, great to see you as always. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure to be with you, Welf.
Let's touch, if we may, first of all, on the pressure we've seen on iron ore prices as a whole of late. Is it just China growth fears that's been pressuring that?
Look, this fluctuation in iron ore prices for us at this point is absolutely meaningless. Cleveland-Cliffs is, since we acquired AK Steel in March of 2020 and ArcelorMittal USA in December of 2020, became the largest flat-rolled steel company in the country. We use all of our iron ore in-house. So we are self-sufficient in iron ore. Fluctuations in iron ore prices should not affect ourselves, being a very large steel company, and it's not really relevant for us at this point, Will.
How is the integration of the acquisition going?
Perfectly. We were able to integrate extremely well. With the integration is not only operational, but also in the commercial side of things. We are now in the process of renegotiating our contracts, and a lot of our business is contract business with the likes of automotive, electrical steels for transformers and engines of electric vehicles, stainless steel, tin plate for packaging. All of these prices are being renegotiated at higher prices for next year. So all the results that we got so far, they were phenomenal. You saw my last quarter, and you saw the guidance for this quarter, $1.8 billion of EBITDA for Q3. That's our previous guidance. They should be higher next year because we are negotiating better prices.
So do you think that this is misunderstood? Because on Monday, your stock was down like 10% or more at one point on the plunge in iron ore prices and the overall market concerns around Evergrande, the Chinese property developer.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. You nailed. Prior to the break, you called Cleveland-Cliffs an iron ore company, and we are no longer an iron ore company, Sarah. Even yourself, you know the company, and you still associate Cleveland-Cliffs with iron ore. We are the largest flat-rolled steel company in the country. Flat-rolled steel is the steel that you see in cars, in containers, in appliances, in pretty much everything. So we are very large, actually the 7th largest steel company outside of China at this point. So we're pretty big, but we're no longer, we can't be called an iron ore company anymore.
So does the fall in iron ore prices actually help you because that's the key ingredient for steel?
We mine our own iron ore. We're self-sufficient, and that makes us a differentiated steel company. While other steel companies need to buy iron ore from the majors, from Vale, from Rio Tinto, from BHP, from whoever, we have our own, and we don't depend on feedstock from outsiders. We actually, fluctuations in feedstock prices don't really affect Cleveland-Cliffs at this point. Our costs are locked in. So when steel prices go up, it all goes inside the margin. And that's why our EBITDA margin right now is in the 34-35% range. And our revenues went from $2 billion a year when we were an iron ore company to $20 billion a year in our current configuration. That happened in the last year and a half, so I understand that people are struggling to understand the new Cleveland-Cliffs, but we'll keep educating them on that.
Lorenzo, just finally wanted to ask what the take-up was like. I know you offered to pay bonuses to employees if they got vaccinated.
We are at 75% at the last count, should be a little more now. We paid $1,500 to each employee that got vaccinated, and regardless of the performance of the site. And every site, we have 46 sites throughout the country. Each one of the sites that got above the 75% threshold, we doubled the bonus. So instead of $1,500, each employee got $3,000. And that happened in 31 of the 46 sites, including the largest steel mill in the country, Indiana Harbor, with 78% vaccination rate. So we got herd immunity inside Cleveland Cliffs. That's a good thing.
Well, that is one approach to doing it. Lorenzo Gonçalves, it's always good to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Nice talking to you and Wilf, Sarah. Thank you.
You too. Up next.